Northeast guy, how sad is that all making you? How sad is it that the Northeast is losing racing? Like we both grew up on Long Island.
Yeah, like
you went to that track. I never went there.
I legitimately don't think, like, I think that I'm not the same since Long Island Dragway closed in like 2000 and like, dude, this got to be like 05 or something like that.
Yeah.
It was probably like 01.
I never made it there, unfortunately.
Yeah. So like I grew up going there and go to Englishtown, and occasionally we would go to Acco. I've been to Maple Grove. Shout out to my pops, because he's the real one. Because it's his fault, and he's the reason that I'm so like in love with this sport. Him and all his friends growing up and everything. But I don't think I'm the same from Long Island Dragway closing, and then Englishtown closing, and now Acco. Like, it's heartbreaking. And Acco was really cool because Acco was like a really good location. Acco was like, you were close to Pennsylvania, you were close to Connecticut, you're close to New York. Like, it was a really good location, and it was a good facility. But I don't know the real reasoning behind why they closed or what caused them to close, but it's sad. I mean, I think the sadder reality for me is that knowing what it takes to build a drag strip, and knowing that it's most likely not going to happen in the Northeast anytime soon or ever, that's heartbreaking.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the whole Northeast, they're so scattered with drag strips. And Florida is really easy to get around. Mm-hmm. Like, we can get up to the Panhandle of Florida fairly quickly. The Northeast is not as easy to traverse.
No, like, I mean, you can
get to a drag strip.
You can be like...
If you're on Long Island somewhere, like Central Long Island, you're screwed.
No, so you could be on Long Island and you're like 60 or 70 miles from Acco, and it'll take you 3 or 4 hours to get there.
Mm-hmm. So you have to trailer through basically the city.
Dude.
Over the worst bridges ever.
It's really not looking good up there for like the sport, and it's kind of sad. And like, you know, I was excited in a way because in the last probably like year or two, Chris Miller Racing bought the Pan Am's event. He took over the Pan Am's, Fall Nationals, Spring Nationals. They have a couple events, and he took that over. And like, he was breathing new life into the sport in the Northeast, and the Northeast needs it so desperately. Like, if you're in the Northeast, you either have to like travel to Florida or race at World Cup finals. And so like that started to change a little bit, and I was really excited for that. But his home track was Acco. And now he's moved around. He's going to do a couple events in, I think, Rockingham and then Maple Grove. But it's like, it's not looking good up there, man. And then like street racing is a huge problem up there. Mm-hmm. And it's not going to get better anytime soon. Yeah, I don't know. It's heartbreaking, man.
Englishtown makes me a little sad because like it's still there.
You know, the only reason
and they drift on it.
No,
why can't we share?
Listen, when I see, I don't know what the story is. I was told that they sold like a portion of the property for like an auction or something like that, and it's like the shutdown. It's so stressful, man. I only play the lottery because if I win, I'm convinced I'm going to reopen Englishtown. I'm not even joking.
It's like there. Like, you can literally go race on it.
And listen, I would...
Just put some walls up.
I would pay you any amount of money in the world to find somebody who had been to an event at Englishtown and them tell you different than what I'm about to say. Englishtown was amazing. That place was a vibe. Like, that was one of the coolest drag strips in the world. The tower, when you see the two cars pulling out from under the tower, the noise, like, it sounds different. The grandstands were awesome. Like, that track was sick. Like, if I were to build a track today, I would try to find the plans for Englishtown and replicate that track.
Well, I know it's great because when, like, Formula Drift goes there and Adam LZ just had an event there and stuff, and they seem like it's a great place. Dude, like, they make it look so great for drifting. So like the vibe has held in motorsports.
That place is a vibe, man. That place is like motorsports sacred grounds. Like, that place is awesome.
It's cool that it's still there because there's a chance.
If I went there and watched people drift there, I would cry.
There's always a chance though, because it's still there. It's not like PBIR, they're like, it's never going to be a track again.
It's not looking good for PBIR.
No.
But at least PBIR, like, yeah, it's 3.5 hours from here. And, you know, there's people, think about it, there's people that live 2 hours south of there that probably went there. Mm-hmm. But at least they have OSW, they have Bradenton, they have Gainesville, whatever. Dude, they got nothing up there.
Or like Houston, like, you know that's never going to be a track again.
No, but there's lots of drag strips in Texas.
Yes.
Lots.
But like, it's also very big, very spread out.
Yeah, but there's probably like 8 drag strips, and probably we don't know about 3 of them in Texas.
Yeah, they have like some backwoods tracks.
Dude, they have some sick tracks.
Florida doesn't have like some backwoods tracks like that. We got a couple.
We had Lakeland. Dude, Lakeland was awesome.
Yep.
It's like an Amazon warehouse now. Showtime. Give them their props. I mean,
I've never been to Immokalee. I want to go.
Yeah, I want to go to Immokalee too because honestly, I've heard that it's like super cool. Because I don't know if you know, it's like an airstrip.
Yeah.
And they just like build a section of it to be a drag strip.
I like that.
And then I guess in some point in the recent history, they had to move it to like a different part of the airport, which is like so cool to me.
They just moved it.
Yeah, they're like, all right, guys, we got to up and move everything.
Dig
so
a
like,
hole for the tree.
Move a tower and like put the timing system up. I don't know like the specifics of it, but I've heard it's super cool and I've heard good things about those guys down there. So we should support them too. But yeah, man, like the Northeast, I don't know. It's I'm happy that I moved down here when I did because like think about how we just talked about it. I'm like so into motorsports and drag racing. I don't know what I'd be doing with myself if I lived in the Northeast.
Yeah, I mean, either. I don't know. Shoot, I would be really screwed. I was far. For me to go to a drag strip was like, you might as well just drive to Florida.
So there is something cool out in Long Island now, though. They like made like a little, like kind of like a Immokalee. Yep. It's Calverton, right?
Calverton, yeah.
Yeah, so
kind of like a little backwoods.
What's so funny about that is that
by the jail.
Long time ago, I was in New York for something and I was invited to like this street race and I'm like, where's it at? They're like, oh, it's out in Long Island. I'm like, where's it at? And like nobody would tell you where it was, right? They're just like people like dropping pins and sending you locations.
Yeah.
And we drove like an hour out there and like could not find it. We like could hear the cars, we could hear tires screeching, and we could not find it. And it was Calverton that they were racing at, and now I guess they do it like legit, which is pretty cool. And hopefully that turns into something. Like I know that those people are like really fighting to have a drag strip in Long Island, and it needs it. Hopefully that turns into something, man. I forget the guy's name. He came to, if I'm not mistaken, he came to our hearing with Manatee County.
Oh, did he?
And he talked and everything.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well, if you're listening, hit me up. Love to have you on.
Yeah, I think he lives down here, and they have like this thing. It's like Long Island needs a drag strip. It's like on Facebook or whatever, and Long Island does need a damn drag strip. So